I was born in Sudan. It's a country in Africa, northern Africa. I was living in bad, living situations where you rather stay there to basically die, or you have a choice and get out of the country and leave. Melbourne, it was a different world. Terrible. I didn't know. Couldn't understand what they were saying, or don't know what's going on. I was hiding from people and just talking to my own people, and it was hard picking up English. School got me into running, a teacher, competing in school cross country and athletics, and doing PE, and I was real good. And a teacher made me join a club in Melbourne, Knox Athletic Club. He did everything for me just to run. And, I didn't like running. I didn't know running was a sport, so I didn't know what else. And he encouraged me to just have a go at it and see how it goes. And I trained for a few weeks and I started liking it a bit. It was pretty difficult. I was like, because trying to understand what the coach was saying was hard then, because I didn't know much English. And when I went there, I found much fitter guys than me, and it was hard to keep up with. And it was strange and it was hard. Yeah, it was very difficult.
I had a lot of good athletes. A lad called Collis Birmingham, who I've just been over to Beijing with. Collis made the 5K. And because of that, you're tending to be down in Melbourne a lot, and you meet up with a lot of the other coaches. And it happened that one of the coaches down there also had a young lass that he was coaching for Mansfield. And she was coming to the uni here at Ballarat. And he asked me if I'd coach her, and from that day on we became pretty good friends. And he was saying in a conversation one day that this Sudanese lad called Duer, that he used to coach just on a fairly infrequent basis, had moved to Ballarat. And so we tried to find Duer and we couldn't find him. And one day it happened that we saw a photo of him in the paper playing soccer for Forest Rangers. And so by hook or by crook we tracked him down, said, "Would you like to come and have a run?" And he did, and the rest is history.
Didn't have much impact with Rod, because I knew the group that trained with Rob. Kept training because he's training basically good guys that I know, and they're good runners as well. So I stick to it, and they all encouraged me to stick to it as well. So yeah, they're massive support of me.
I'm blessed with a really good training group of girls, guys, all ages, from 50 down to 12, and they're just all good people. And I think that the fact that we had such a good training group was part of the thing. I didn't have to ask him. I think the group made him so welcome. He enjoyed the group's company, they enjoyed his company. It was just a natural progression. He showed it almost from the first day. I think it was about a week into training with us. I live at Buninyong. Duer lives at the other end of town. He lives out at Wendouree West, and there's about a 20k difference between the two places. And he missed the bus to get out to training one day, and so he ran out. And from that day on, I thought, yeah, this guy's fair dinkum about wanting to become an athlete.
It was a real fast 3k, and I went out there and just gave it everything I got, and I ran 9 flat, 9 minute flat, and I didn't know how fast I was running. After I finished the race, and I realised I ran 9 minutes, and then from there I knew that I could achieve something here.
Well, probably some of the challenges locally are because Duer's right the other end of town, is just making sure that he can get home, get to training. Then just dropping him off of an evening. We usually have a little bit of a roster. Some of the athletes will drop him off some nights. I'll drop him off some nights. So it's just those little things. That's easy to look after. But probably on a bigger scale, it's when we start to look at major events, because Duer's not funded by the VIS or getting any AA funding. Say when we look at, say, going to an interstate meeting, which we're doing later in October. It's then trying to get the funding to go there, because there's the two of us going up. You're looking at accommodation, you're looking at flights and so on, and it's trying to find that sort of funding. They're the challenges that I, as a coach and basically coach/manager, have to look at. I've noticed when a few people talk to Duer, they yell at him because they think he doesn't understand English. He speaks better English than most of us do. So I think there's a language barrier, and I think that I honestly think that some people just think they're from another planet.
Well, first, I didn't like me doing running. They reckon I should do soccer because that's where I was born. My hometown sport, soccer. And since I made the world junior cross country team, now they have massive support and encourage and help.
I know Duer's folks, and I've been around there, and they're lovely people. But I'm happy. I coach the athlete, and I know that his parents are fully on board with him, and that's all I care about, really. I think probably reality set in to Duer's dad when I had to go around one night with all the paperwork to get an Australian passport for him. I think then he realised that, hey, my son's pretty good at this, and that he's actually going to represent Australia. Well, I think the advice I'd give them is treat your athletes as you treat any athlete for a start. You don't have to make any differences, but I think if you're going to coach any athlete, and it probably counts for anybody from any background, that there's a support structure there. That if you're going to coach a group of Sudanese athletes and they live at the other end of town, well, you don't just expect them to come to training and make their own way home. You have to set up an infrastructure that can enable them to get to training, that enables them to get home. That if they start to get to the next level, that you start to think about, well, hey, this athlete's pretty good, how do I get funding for them? How do I get them to the next level? Because it isn't all going to just fall into your lap. You've got to get out there and be a bit proactive. Okay, well, he started, the first major race that we went to was the Victorian All Schools, and he won that, but it wasn't a very strong field. But since that he's probably improved a minute and a half over 5k. Some of the things that he's won Duer's won the Victorian All Schools 5k title. He's won the Victorian 5k title. These are all at under 20 level. He's won the Victorian Cross. He's run 2 Victorian cross country titles. He was 4th in the trial for the World Cross Country, and then back to Australia, 3rd in the Australian Cross Country title. So there's some of his achievements. He also won 2 open races in Ballarat.
When I wasn't good at running, I didn't know running could help me do this and I didn't know running can give me a good future. Or now that I know that running is big in the world, I know that it's going to help me the future in my career. At
18, when you think about it and the history that Ballarat's got with Steve Monaghetti and others, it's a pretty fair achievement to win them at that age.
Challenging, running good runners, and people that challenge you, racing, and winning.